Legacy of the Covenant. What is the Covenant? How does it relate to the Ark of the Covenant, as seen in the film Raiders of the Lost Ark? We spoke to Brighton spiritualist Noel O'Dwyer.
I don't know if I'm an expert, but I hope I know a little bit about it. The covenant was issued by God to Abraham, which is the first time. It was reconfirmed by Moses. And the third time is through Jesus, the crucifixion. So we've had three confirmations within the history of the Christian or Judeo-Christian religion. You've also got the Ten Commandments. Now, these Ten Commandments are kept in a box called the Covenant. And this is something which is quite powerful, to say the least. We know from history, it's particularly the Bible, where the Ark of the Covenant has been taken into battle, and it is said that anybody who carries this Ark of the Covenant will always win the wars. Hitler was looking for it, Napoleon looked for it, Alexander the Great was dying to find it, and he still had a very special power that was with him, as we know from history. Well, I had a question asked to me a few days ago. Is the covenant still in operation? And I say, yes, it is. So this person said, well, what do you mean it's still in operation? We can't see it. Nobody's attacking us today. We're having people from all over the world coming to live here. I said, well, let's really stop and have a look at this. So I explained to him, in 1992, the Archbishop of Canterbury went to Rome and signed a paper over there, aligning the Church of England to the Church of Rome. But before this actually happened, the Vatican mentioned to the Archbishop that, sir, you do realise that you are the true Church. And the Archbishop of Canterbury said, yes, I do realise this. But for the unity of Europe, we need to be closer together. So he signed the document. We have another thing. We're a bishop in a large cathedral up in the middle, up north. Used to come out in the newspaper articles and say, we don't believe in this, you can do this, you can do that. And always at the end, it was always to do with, well, we don't really need God. We don't really need to worship Jesus. It's really down to man himself to do this and down to man himself to do that. And his last statement, which was really very, very derogative, there was a thunderstorm. And Durham Cathedral, that's what I was just trying to think of. Yeah, we were talking. And the church roof burnt off that night. Now, to me, that was living proof of the covenant. It may not seem it to most people, but the person that actually holds the covenant on behalf of us, the people of England, Great Britain, and Ireland, and I mean the whole of Ireland when I say this, I don't mean just part of Ireland, is the Queen of England. And from her lands, 150 oak trees were taken down and used to rebuild the roof of that church, that cathedral. They ordained women priests, which of course went right against what the Catholic Church believes in. Well, that to me was the hand of God, the hand of Jesus, stepping forward to keep the English Church truly English, not Catholic. And that to me is how the covenant works quietly, but steps in occasionally, just to keep things on the straight and narrow. Now, with our modern technology and our great understanding of science, of the universe, of interstellar travel even, the Ark of the Covenant is still as important to this day, as well as the covenant itself. One reinforces the other. One is a physical object which we can see and touch and hold. And the few people can actually communicate. On the other hand, we have a word, a spoken word by God to Abraham. And most people can't grasp this abstract form of signing an agreement, which actually ended up with a blood sacrifice of a lamb. But in the future, all knowledge must be given openly to the people. All our history will be revealed. And as we are becoming more and more aware of things which have been hidden and put away to one side, and various organizations have tried to suppress, and capitalism is taking over more, but within that capitalism there is a greater freedom of understanding, of knowing, knowledge. By sharing that knowledge, it makes capitalism work even better. But knowing the history of the world a little bit more than most people, I know that the world is going to go to at least 3,000 years. And we have 1,000 years of peace after a major event that will take place anyway, which is what we call the Third World War. And this is where the Ark of the Covenant comes into being again, because it must be found beforehand for it to be with its people. And its people are Great Britain, Ireland, parts of Denmark of that area, the North countries, America, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, are all part of the 10 missing tribes. Plus then we must also remember that we have Israel today. As we call it Israel, well, it's not. Israel is actually England. This is Israel. And as we call it, the other place is called Palestine. It is still Palestine, it is not Israel. The Ark would help us to find peace, but it could also cause a war. Strange thing saying that, because we have the thing called the place called the Temple Mount, where the temple in Jerusalem is built. There have been three temples there, and one temple is built exactly on top of the other. Not 1 inch one way or the other. It is exact to every millimetre. Now, also there, on the rock, is the Muslim temple, where Buddha is supposed to go on to heaven in a chariot and 6 white horses. Well, it is written and it is said that the temple in Jerusalem is to be rebuilt. Now, once that is rebuilt, it is logical to think that the Ark of the Covenant must be going back in there. And therefore, I presume, from what I've heard recently, that the Ark of the Covenant is possibly still in Jerusalem, buried. There is an American professor of archaeology who believes now he has found the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant can work as a peaceful thing for man, or it can work as a bad thing. Now, where Israel today is having conflicts between the Arabs and themselves, the Arabs may take great disdain to the fact that Israel will build the new temple in Jerusalem. So therefore this could cause a conflict, and therefore all the Arab nations may go against them, and this way causes a problem, and it could cause a Third World War. So I don't underestimate the Arabs for one moment, but the tribes of Israel are not interested in war. But when push comes to shove, then they will rebuild their armies, they will rebuild their weapons, and they will go to war. And this is where the covenant still comes into power.